Has there been a day like today? 5 Oakland police officers were shot this afternoon, and tonight, 3 of them have died, and a 4th is in grave condition at Highland Hospital. The 5th officer was grazed by a bullet but not seriously injured. It all began when 2 motorcycle officers pulled over a Buick in East Oakland at about 1:15 this afternoon. Police say the driver opened fire and both officers were shot. One of those officers died. 2 hours later, 2 more officers were shot, both killed after a SWAT team located the gunman at an apartment building just a few blocks away. That's where the 5th officer was grazed. The SWAT officers killed the gunman. The first shootings occurred during a traffic stop at 74th Avenue and MacArthur Boulevard, just a few blocks from OPD's Eastmont substation. The other shootings occurred at 74th Avenue and Hillside Street. We have live team coverage for you tonight. Our David Stevenson is at Highland Hospital where the officers were taken. But we begin with KTVU's Mike Neback. He's at Oakland Police Headquarters where police and city officials just released late details. Mike?
Well, Heather, a very deep feeling of shock and sadness tonight here at police headquarters in downtown. 3 of their own are dead, another fighting for his life, and tonight flags are at half-staff on what is certainly one of the most tragic days in the history of this police department.
In these moments that words are extraordinarily inadequate. We come together in shock, in grief, in sadness and sorrow at a set of tragic incidences that have caused the death of several of our police officers.
Investigators say 2 Oakland police motorcycle officers were shot, one of them killed after the 2 made a traffic stop at 73rd and MacArthur at 1:08 in the afternoon.
I first want to offer my condolences to the officers that lost their lives today in the line of duty in our city.
A massive manhunt was immediately launched, and within 2 hours, a tip led police to the gunman who had barricaded himself inside an apartment building just a block away from the initial shooting. Oakland SWAT moved in. There was an exchange of gunfire. The gunman was killed, but so too were 2 more Oakland police officers.
When officers arrived on the scene, they discovered 2 officers suffering from apparent gunshot wounds, and they were quickly transported to Highland Hospital. While investigating the incident, the Oakland Police Department received information on the location of the suspect.
The last time an Oakland police officer was killed was in 2004, and now the department will mourn again, not for 1, not for 2, but for 3 of their finest dressed in blue.
When officers gained entry into the apartment, they were immediately fired upon by the suspect with an assault weapon. 2 officers sustained fatal gunshot wounds, and a 3rd officer received a minor wound, a grazed wound to his head.
Our hearts go out to the families that at this very moment are experiencing a level of tragedy and loss beyond our ability to comprehend nor to express in words.
Police say the man who killed the officers is 27-year-old Lovelle Mixon. The Oakland resident had a no-bail warrant out on him. They say he was on parole for an assault with a deadly weapon. Acting Chief Jordan said the 2nd motor officer who was shot is in grave condition tonight. All 3 officers who were killed were sergeants. Live tonight here in Oakland, Mike Neback, KTVU, Channel 2 News.
Okay, what's up everybody? This is Jay the Wanderer with Oakland Latinos Unidos, aka Oakland Latinos United, the voice of the Latino community in the Bay Area, California, YouTube, and beyond. Well, for many of you out there that watch my videos, and many of you out there who watch the news, you probably already realized what happened in Oakland yesterday. 3 police officers, actually 5 police officers were shot by 1 man. You know what I mean? 3 were killed, and 1 was injured, but he was declared brain dead today, so he's probably not going to make it. And another officer whose name wasn't released was shot like in the face or something, but grazed only, and didn't die. What happened was basically this man right here was pulled over on 75th and MacArthur in East Oakland, or the neighborhood that is commonly called Deep East Oakland, which is basically the upper part of East Oakland. He was pulled over in a 1995 Buick, which what they call on the streets out here a scraper. And he was pulled over on 75th and MacArthur. His name is Lovelle Mixon, 26 years old. And apparently he had a no-bail warrant. And he got pulled over, and I guess he freaked out or or something, and he shot two motorcycle police officers that pulled him over. The officers that were shot was this officer. His name is Mark Dunakin, 40 years old, sergeant. He was shot and killed instantly right there on 75th and MacArthur. The other officer that was killed was this officer. Well, he wasn't killed, he was shot, and he's the one that's declared legally brain dead right now, and he's on life support, was John Hege, 41 years old. He was shot, but he didn't die, but he was declared brain dead today, so he's probably not going to make it. I guess the suspect, Lovelle Mixon, ran to an apartment complex right down the street from where the murder happened. Why he ran right down the street from where the murder happened, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, if it was me, I would have left far, far away from Oakland. But he ran into an apartment on 74th, not far from MacArthur, basically the next block over from where the officers were shot. And I guess the police were shut down the neighborhood and were on a manhunt for like 2 hours, and then they got an anonymous tip that the suspect that had committed the shootings was hiding out in this apartment complex that was right there. I guess it turns out it's his sister's apartment. The police basically came with the SWAT team unit. They broke in the apartment to arrest the suspect, and he opened fire on them, from what the officers are saying, with an assault rifle. And two officers in the SWAT team were killed. This officer right here, his name was Daniel Sakai, 35 years old. And this police officer right here named Ervin Romans, he's 43 years old. They were both killed, SWAT team members, when they were trying to arrest the suspect inside his sister's apartment. Apparently, a shootout broke out between the SWAT team and the suspect was murdered, was killed right there in the apartment complex. But for me, a lot of people are asking me, what's your opinion about what happened? For me, the Oakland Police Department is a police department that has a lot of problems on its hands. It's had a lot of problems in the last few months. You know, even the Oscar Grant thing, which was the Oscar Grant murder, which was done by the BART police and not the Oakland police, has had a fallback on the Oakland police also. And, you know, the chief stepped down. There was allegations what were the allegations of? There was also allegations of other officers who were breaking into houses and not using search warrants and all kinds of other stuff. The Riders case a few years back, and, you know, just a lot of things that were going on with the Oakland Police Department. If you ask people in the community where this happened, or in Oakland in general, there's two feelings. There's mixed feelings. Some people say it doesn't bother them, that the cops reap what they sowed. Even on the news, some people were saying it. Other people are like, it's a tragedy. The cops, you know, didn't deserve to get killed like that. Well, for those who are saying that you know, you reap what you sow, and you know, the cops do that to us anyway, I understand how they feel, because like I've said before, police brutality and the police coming into your neighborhood and acting like you ain't shit, and you know, basically they can patrol and control and beat your ass and arrest you for no reason and put fake charges on you. You know, that's the kind of things that the black and Mexican and Latino community are tired of, you know. But as far as me personally, I think it's a tragedy. I think it's a crazy thing that happened. I mean, 4 cops shot and killed. One's brain dead, but he might not even make it. 4 cops shot by one person. I mean, that's crazy. I ain't never heard of nothing like that. The only time I ever seen something like that was like in a movie, like Natural Born Killers or something like that. You know what I mean? I think that's crazy. You know, I feel for the officers that got killed. You know, my heart goes out to the family. You know, like I said before, I'm not against the police. I don't hate the police. I'm not anti-police. I may not be a big fan of the police because of police brutality and all the other bullshit, but at the same time, I don't condone violence against police officers like this. I believe when there is a problem with the police, we should protest it, we should sue, we should let our voices be known, but not commit a violent act like this, because violence doesn't solve anything. Just like when Oscar Grant got killed, I said there's no point in rioting, because rioting is not going to solve nothing. So now I think after this, what's going to happen is the police is going to be a lot more paranoid. They're going to be a lot more, probably more meaner towards people, and it's probably going to make a worse situation than it already is. You know, because like I always say, violence doesn't really solve anything. It just brings more problems. But, you know, it's a sad tragedy, you know. You know, another young African American male gets killed in Oakland by the police, and 4 police officers get killed by him. And it basically gives the excuse to racists and to all the other people that hate Oakland and hate people of color. Say, look at those blacks are at it again. Look at them in their fucking city of Oakland. Because people love to bash the city of Oakland. So like I said, it's a tragedy on both sides. And it's just going to make the city of Oakland look bad, and the black community and the Mexican community and everybody else in Oakland just look bad, you know. They're just going to automatically assume we're a bunch of dumb idiots that just shoot each other and don't know no better. But we're really not that. That's just a few group of people. But I'm out of time, and that's all I have to really say. Oakland Latinos Unidos signing out.